Hi, I'm Tim from Fleetster, and today I would like to introduce you into our CarSharing Kit that is installed in one of our test cars. If you want to come in, I'll show you what you can see. It is actually not that much that you can see. The main car-sharing device is installed underneath the steering wheel, so well hidden, because we're trying to make it a heavy-duty or hard usage device, and we don't want users to have an easy time to just unplug it or try to manipulate it. So that's why it's all well hidden, but there are certain elements that obviously a user needs, and the ones that are visible are the ones, for example, where you would find the key. And the key is normally in the glove box. Now I've already taken it out, but first of all, let me show you the gasoline cards. So there are two slots available for gasoline cards, and on each card it can also be parking cards or electric vehicle charging cards or any other card really, and they're normally tagged with an RFID tag. So this is a sticker which you can pretty much put on any card you have, and the device is an RFID reader which reads this card. So if I'm very silent, you might even hear it. There's a little beep sound, and that signifies that the reader has just detected that little sticker on top of the card, and that's necessary because at the end of each trip we want to know that all gasoline cards were put back in the car. Otherwise it's not possible to end the booking. And the same is true for the physical key that we have. There's this little token that's attached, and only when the key and the token are put back into the car does the app allow you to finish your trip. Otherwise it says you cannot finish unless the key is back. And it's not always fraud. Sometimes people simply forget the key in their pocket and would close the car, and so our app always knows that. For people who are familiar with insurances, it's important to know that our cars always have a key inside, and that would be very dangerous because the insurance is actually not insuring cars where the key is in the car. So that's actually one of the reasons where insurers might not pay. That's why we have a second layer of security. It's a so-called immobilizer that you have in every car, and we have on top of the immobilizer a start interruption, and that's effectively the starter wire is interrupted with our car sharing device, and if somebody breaks into the car, smashes the window, takes out the key, then in normal cars they would be able to start it, but in ours they are not, because the wire is still interrupted by our car sharing kit. So only through the app do we tell the car sharing kit that now there's a valid booking, and only then the ignition signal is actually going through to the engine. We'll actually show you in a separate video what happens if somebody does that, but that's something very important to know. So that makes our whole devices very secure and very reliable, because everything is built underneath, deep into the car, and there's a second complete layer of security so that people cannot steal the key and get into the car. There's one last piece missing, but it's optional, which is our RFID reader, and this one can be used for cards of employees, or really any card that's comparable with the protocol that this one uses. And it works that you can actually open and start a booking without having a smartphone. So you can swipe it, and if the user who is registered with this card has a valid booking in this time frame, then after swiping, the doors open and the booking is started. And then when you swipe it again, the booking is finished. So it is possible to do that. However, this needs an authorization from our server, so that means the car needs to be online, which means that the device needs to have a connection, a live connection in that moment, which is not true in a parking garage 10 stories deep. With a smartphone it is, because the smartphone can actually open it via Bluetooth and has a valid token on the phone. So underground parking would normally ideally require the smartphone usage of the users, but if it's parked outside and you have a good internet connection, then it is possible to just use a card to open the booking, and it's always possible to do both. So some people with a smartphone, some with a card, but for card the car needs to be online. That's it for the moment.